Stoutty, welcome to the Underground Society podcast. How are you, man?
What's up, dude? Stoked to be here. I was always a Christian, but I was never really devoted, gave my life fully to Christ, Then really came out about my faith 2-3 months ago.
I almost felt like I was sinning just being around the EDM industry. Girls are half naked, people are popping mollies, what?
Who knows? We could be wrong. That's our choice, though. I'd rather be wrong and then live a good life or be right and have an eternal life.
Stout is your last name, right?
Yeah, I can go for a stout right now.
Bruh, it's not even noon.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, dude.
The fact that you love beer and stuff, have you thought about leaning into that a little bit, or?
I love beer, but it's not really fully who I am. What's DJ Snake's branding? It's not a snake.
At a young age, it was definitely shoved in my face, and I got to a certain point when I started making my own decision. I kind of stepped away from it heavily. I was just I don't care. And you have to make that decision for yourself to want to follow Jesus instead of your parents doing it for you.
I just remember I want to party and have fun and do what I want and just live for this world. And I'm not going to force anybody to believe it, but if you want to talk about it, I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about it.
Stoutty, welcome to the Underground Society podcast. How are you, man?
What's up, dude? Stoked to be here.
Yeah. So I think I found out who you were because you're working on that collab project with Riotten, Pushing Daisies. And I do want to talk a little bit about that, but that's kind of where I first saw you online. And being a Christian, people who listen to the show know that I'm a Christian. And if you're not, now you're learning about it, but you're a Christian, and I really liked what you were doing with, remixing Christian songs into EDM tracks and just kind of the direction that you're kind of taking your project, and it was very different and unique. So thank you so much for your time today and sitting down and letting me ask you questions.
Thanks for having me on, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So kind of to start us off, 'cause I like getting people's backstories, but I know being a Christian, our come up and kind of how we approach, especially the EDM industry, can be slightly different just because of some of the negative stigmas that kind of come along with it and stuff like that, which a lot of them are unfortunately true to a certain degree, but we do have a little bit of a different approach. So take me to the point of kind of how you got introduced to EDM and kind of the earlier phases of your career of trying to balance what the EDM scene kind of stands for versus what you personally stand for in your walk with Christ.
Yeah, so I got introduced, I was dating a girl a long time ago when I was 20. I didn't really care for the rave stuff. I didn't think it was cool or anything back then. And so I didn't want her to go by herself to this festival. I don't know what it's about. So I went with her. I remember I saw Porter Robinson close it down. And I walked out mind blown, wow, I want to do this. And so I just DJ'd for a little bit, just thought I could do DJing, not producing. Then I finally went to music production school at Matrix Sessions in LA. And that kind of got me on the right track. As my faith, it wasn't so much. I was always a Christian, but I was never really devoted, gave my life fully to Christ, And so in the past couple of years, I've really been diving in and wanted to honor him with my music too. And I was making bass music and having bad words in it and all this stuff. I just didn't feel emotion to it anymore. I just felt the bass scene's oversaturated, and it just, I don't know. I feel obviously people are positive as artists, but I feel there's not really emotional, positive music in the bass scene. So I just wasn't feeling that anymore. So that's why I really dove into melodic. Because I feel when I'm sad or happy, I'm listening to a melodic song or something uplifting. I'm not really listening to headbanging music.
Yeah.
So I kind of just changed that direction. But yeah, just honoring God with my music more. So obviously melodic and Christian music are almost identical, with their production, their chords and everything like that. So I can't really do bass music with that. So I kind of went melodic with it, then really came out about my faith 2-3 months ago. I don't know why. I just feel I had to do it. Just wanted to do it. Obviously I got a lot of negative feedback. I lost a good amount of followers, but it's all good.
You're gaining.
It doesn't matter.
Over time, there in the long run, you're going to gain the right followers and the right fans, though, because of it. So
yeah, my buddy's parents reach out about me because of my faith, and that's a whole different ballgame. That's super cool. It's if I could just motivate one person or help one person in this world, I think my job is complete. I don't think this industry is about making money. I feel the music is about to help people and give back to people, and I feel a lot of people lose that in sight because obviously everyone want to make good money. They want to have a good life here, but music is music, and I feel we're here to help people with it. And we're here to motivate people or get people through hard times. And if I could do that with a handful of people, I think my job it's done. It's good.
When you first got introduced to everything, I guess I'll just dive right into this topic, but something that I've even struggled with myself was with the side of the EDM industry with like drugs and alcohol and partying and that kind of stuff. Was that a struggle for you at all in your earlier phases? I know you were talking a little bit about like the harsher languages in your music and not wanting to do that so much, but the partying side of things, I think, is something that I've struggled with most when it came to like getting into the EDM industry.
Yeah, it's still like, so especially when I go to like festivals now and like my buddies are playing it, like we do have a few drinks, we do have a good time, but like usually after the show now we just go straight back to the hotel room and chill and talk. It's like we're not going to the afters anymore, or honestly I'm just too old to go to the afters. I'm almost 30. I'm just too tired. But like, honestly, I do enjoy a good old fashioned. I do enjoy drinking with my buddies and friends, you know, but it's just to a certain extent where you can't get crazy and stupid with it. But yeah, definitely the partying scene it's hard, but if you have the right team around you and the good group of friends around you and you just play your show and leave after, it's solid, you know. It's like, as long you're not getting in trouble and hanging out with the wrong people. You just need the good core group around you. That's why I really appreciate Riotten, because his core around him is so strong. It's like nothing could break him. So when we all want to leave, we all leave together. So I really that's why I like kind of follow his direction. So it's just you have to have that good group, and it's tempting. The temptation's there to go out and party and hang out with girls and do all that stuff, but you just you gotta let that slide. You can't let it get to you.
Yeah, it's definitely different too. I've learned like being just an EDM fan versus being like actually working in the industry, and like because a lot of people totally different, and like a lot of people in the business side of things or like the artist side of things, like really are passionate about, you know, doing this as their jobs, as their careers. They take it seriously. They're more disciplined about things. So yeah, I think that's what I've learned too. At the beginning, I was like, man, like I almost felt like I was like sinning just being around the EDM industry. Like I was like, should I eat? Girls are half naked. People are popping mollies. Like what?
Dude, honestly, yeah, it's crazy. Well, everyone sins, you know, on a daily basis. We don't realize we're sinning. Even just like cussing or looking at a girl with lust is a sin, but and all sin's the same. But yeah, dude, it's hard. It's definitely hard, especially this industry, because like I feel like this industry, it's like, let's be honest, like there's no Christian pop star playing at EDC, and if there was, like who knows what that turnout would be, because everyone's going to EDC to have a good time and let loose, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But it's like it's definitely a different ball game with the EDM and Christian world. But I think there could be Christian shows, and dance music is dance music, and people could enjoy it. So it's like I'm just trying to like tap into that market and kind of be the first one to do it. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of Christians that love EDM music but don't want to go to those festivals.
I've even had, the more I talk about it on this platform, I've had people reach out to me like, dude, thanks so much for like talking about this and like shedding light on like
dude
like,
right?
A lot of people
Isn't that
are
crazy?
Like, almost afraid to quote unquote come out about their religion or their walk with Christ like in the EDM
Isn't that
scene.
crazy though? Because I have the same way. Like when I went to Forbidden Kingdom, like a whole bunch of my buddies that are artists like reached out to me and told me that's super cool you're doing that. I'm like, I didn't think you would care, but I appreciate that. It's like it's just like, there's a lot of Christians out there, but they just don't want to come out about it because in today's world they don't want to be judged or anything. So I get it, but
and I also get like the fact of like people have you know, we're not everyone's a Christian in the EDM scene, and I totally understand that. And I have come in the past from a position of like, I don't want to be like the guy who's like shoving religion down someone's throat.
Dude,
either.
Same way.
Like that's not, as a Christian, that's kind of not what you're supposed to do either. You're supposed to just like help lead instead of like force someone to.
You're supposed to lead the example and just like spread love, and just if they don't believe, just still care and love them. You can't hate or judge them. I think that's a sin. It's like you can't judge anybody. You just gotta help guide them and correct them, and hopefully they'll see you what you're doing to see how happy you are in life and just kind of take after you and follow your role.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, talking about the community aspect of the electronic music scene, I think that's the main thing why I got so interested in it, because I was very active in like my youth group and stuff growing up and like that family type environment. And I think I felt the same type of feeling around, if again, you choose the right people to be around, you can get that same kind of community, like family fellowship almost feel to like your friendship or your quote unquote rave fam in the EDM scene too. So I wanted to ask, since you are working on a project with Riotten, is he a Christian as well? Is that someone that you
it's kind of crazy. So, yeah, like he is a devout Christian. Like he'll post like Bible verses on social media. Like he talks about God a lot. And that's why, cause we met and like, we didn't really talk about our beliefs or anything. We're just like, we like each other's music. Let's do something together. But yeah, he's a Christian. Like, he's a very strong Christian, and I'm very proud of him for that. And it kind of like, it's like we kind of like came stronger together. Because like when he was diving more into his faith, so was I. So it kind of just worked out. Like I don't really know that many Christians in the EDM scene at all, dude. So to like know him and like his team behind him are Christian, so it's like just good to have that group around each other, you know?
Yeah, I knew he was like a family guy because I knew he has a couple of kids and like married and stuff, but I didn't know he was. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, he. If you follow him, he'll post Bible verses like almost daily on his Instagram.
I don't know why I've never seen those. I've seen a lot of his shit too.
It's very impressive what he does, and I don't know. I'm sure he gets hate for it too, but his platform, I'm sure he's reaching a lot of people to help them get through stuff too. So, and
especially someone that his size too, like. Hundreds of thousands of followers, selling out shows, doing his own tours. Like,
yeah,
he's
crushing it, dude. He's such a humble dude, so nice, and just he gives back to a lot of smaller artists, which I really appreciate him for. Yeah.
You kind of got into talking about your transition into melodic music, and I kind of dug back into your Instagram, and I saw that you did a couple like hard dance shows. You did some other like different styles of music in the past. Do you still produce, or once you started producing, did you also learn how to produce like hardstyle and other like genres, or?
Yeah, because back then I was just trying to make it any genre I could, so I was trying to make everything, dude. But yeah, I was making hardstyle, I was doing like trap and dubstep, and I still make dubstep now. I don't know if it'll see the light of day, unless it's like dubstep melodic, you know, like it has to be like a very beautiful breakdown and a heavier drop. I just don't really care for the dark breakdowns anymore for myself. But yeah, I pretty much make every genre you could think of. I like making house music. I like making pop music. I like it all, dude. It's just fun. Music is music, and it's all fun to make. And
what do you typically, like DAW software do you use? What do you use?
Ableton.
Yeah.
It's the best, dude.
The GOAT.
Yeah, everyone's like, look, Ableton. I felt my roommate's on freaking Logic, dude, so that's mind-blowing. Yeah. That's mind-blowing, but...
Yeah, Logic, I feel like different genres have like their own, like a lot of like rap artists and stuff and rap producers use like Logic, a lot of like FL even. It's crazy to think like people like Excision's level are like using FL and like Fruity Loops and stuff.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, well, I know Logic's really good to record live in. Same with like Pro Tools is really good to record live in. So every DAW has their own benefit, but I think Ableton and FL are almost the same. I don't know.
It's a little different interface, but basically the
same. It's like it does the same thing. So
yeah. Did you learn any other DAW, or have you always been Ableton?
I started on a Logic, and then when I went to school, they put me on Ableton. But I can't look at Logic now and figure anything out. It's just so confusing. I don't like how it looks. It's like not user friendly. It's like too much like technology looking vibe. But yeah, I've been on Ableton the whole time.
When you were first starting to like follow your faith a little closer and like wanted to incorporate it into your music, what was like the first like defining moment of like making that decision? Was it just like wake up one day and you decided to do it, or like was there like a series of events that happened and you're like, I should probably start doing this?
I don't know. I for like the past 2-3 years, I always wanted to do like remixes, but I just never really did. I don't know why, but like one day I was just sitting down in a studio. I'm like, I'm just gonna try to remix a song, see what it does, and it kind of smacked. And so I just started doing more and more. Then I've actually have a song with Kelsey Ray. It's like our first Christian song, but I just really wanted to do it because it's like if I could honor God and everything else, but not honor God in my music, then what am I really doing, you know? My mom's a huge Christian, my dad's a big Christian, and I'll, like just listening to them, it's like, and my mom will listen to my music too, and she's like, why do you have that bad word in there? It's like, yeah, it's old, Mom, I'm sorry, but yeah, just like me diving more into my faith and me really doing it. It's like if I make melodic music, I could easily make Christian music. I just gotta get good vocals, you know? So yeah, I don't know what came up to me that day. I woke up and wanted to do it. I don't know why. It just kind of hit me. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
One of those gift of inspiration or whatever has struck you one day?
Yeah, I just sitting here at my desk and made a video. And it's like, yeah, I'm posting with my faith and see how it happens. And I got a good reaction, so that's good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask my next question following that up. Was it scary at all to make that leap and to kind of start showcasing that a little bit more? Or was it just like,
no,
I
wasn't.
don't care?
It was, I don't care. It's like maybe 2 years ago, I was probably scared because I felt like, oh, I didn't want to be canceled. I don't want to do this. But who cares? It's like, I'm not real to myself. I'm not going to post myself out there. So, yeah, I wasn't scared at all. I got really good feedback. Obviously, I got some like people commenting some messed up stuff, but who cares if you're not doing? You have to have haters to do something right. So
If you don't have haters, you're probably
yeah,
not doing something right. So
yeah,
very
exactly.
much so.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we talked a little bit about people like coming up to you and like saying they're appreciative of what you're doing. Have you had anyone like come up to you and like say that their life has been impacted all in like a significant way from you kind of moving into that world or that style?
Not so the Christian stuff. No, I'm sure I've had DMs before, but like more like the melodic music people have reached out to me saying that that's helped them, like especially the Push Daisies project. But not so the Christian stuff, just the melodic side of it. Just more emotional music has helped people get through stuff, and that's super awesome. Like I never thought in a million years that someone would listen to my music and that would get them through something. Because I listen to people's music all the time and it helps me, but like not thinking my own music would help somebody else, which is pretty rad. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Coming out about your faith. I know you said you kind of like didn't care about people's reactions and stuff too. But was there a challenging aspect at all to like starting to talk about it more?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My mom literally called me and said, now you have more eyes on you now because you came out about your face. So it's like you can't be dumb and do stupid things. And like, cause I don't want people to see me and like, oh, he's a Christian. Look how he's acting. He's like totally like, I don't want to be the bad Christian where I lead the bad example. And that's why people don't like Christianity. So it's definitely hard. I have to just be better, and which is fine. I just have to act better in life. It's like I can't go out, be drinking super a lot and being dumb, make bad decisions. And it's just like
It's almost
the
like
challenge that comes with it.
signing up to almost like I'm a disciple now. Like I have to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Everyone makes mistakes, 100%. But yeah, it's just there's way more eyes. You just got to be the role model that you sign up to be. It's like you're just showing that you're giving your life to Christ. And if like I talked to my buddy yesterday, he's like, you need to be the role model for all your friends around you, so they can see what you're doing, and then they'll give their life to Christ too. Like that's super rad.
It's a responsibility too. It's like
It totally is.
Yeah.
That people think being a Christian's easy. It's not.
No, definitely not. Definitely
Because our
not.
beliefs are just. It's not. It's not easy. There's a lot of things you can mess up on, and
Yeah.
it's not easy. No.
There's definitely more challenging religions out there. Like Catholicism is
for
way
sure.
more
For sure.
way more strict. Muslims way more strict. But yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we still like at the end of the day we still have the power of our own choice to a certain, like everyone does, but like Muslims, like there's higher consequences, I feel like, or like being in a more strict religion. For us, it's like we have to be more self-disciplined. We have to be like, because what our decisions are, and you know, in our everyday life affects our afterlife more so, which is every religion. But like we have less consequences, I think, on a day-to-day basis as we're living, and we have to almost pay the price when in the afterlife, where like other religions have more consequences like in their actual life. So I think that's the part that and it's like it's always a self decision. You have to wake up and decide to do the right thing instead of like being forced to, I guess.
Yeah. And those other religions, like, dude, they are like all about their religion. It's like they're really about it. It's like, and anyone can say they're a Christian, but like they're not. Anyone can go to church on Sunday and do their thing and then go get crazy the rest of the week. It's like, that's not going to save you. I'm sorry. It's like, you just got to really put your all into Christ. And like, who knows? We could be wrong. We could be. And like, hey, that's our choice though. It's like, I'd rather be wrong and then live a good life or be right and have an eternal life. So.
Yeah, for sure. Have you had any issues being that you do incorporate that into your music project and everything like that? Have you had any issues with like promoters or like getting bookings because of?
Well, I didn't take on it. I told me and my manager, Kev, I didn't want to take any shows this year because I just want to really focus on my music. But no, I haven't played a show in a year anyway, so no, not really. I feel like ever since I stopped making bass music, like my traction kind of went down because I did bass for like 6 years. So
Yeah, there's what people started to know you as, and then you like switch things up.
Yeah,
like,
so I totally switched things up. So yeah, I don't really care to play any shows right now. It's really just focusing more on my music and the branding side of it, and just my music top notch. Obviously shows are super fun to play, and nothing crazy with promoters. I talked to my manager. I was like, hey dude, if like I'm doing this route with my music, if you guys don't want to be a part of it, I totally get it. Like, no, we support you 100%.
That's cool.
Like, yeah, dude, Kevin's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Kevin. He's a good guy.
Which company are you? Just independent, or are you with someone?
We're with Gridlock. So
okay,
they have like
I was wondering if
amorphic,
Kevin Gridlock,
like gorilla teeth. Yeah. Kevin's awesome. Love
That's
him.
sweet. I want to talk a little bit more about the Pushing Daisies project. How did obviously we were talking about you and Riotten becoming friends, and the fact that you guys are both Christians, brings you closer together. But what is like? How did that idea come to be, and like what is it like? What's the purpose of that project?
Yeah, it was during COVID actually, I think. And I was texting him one day and I said, hey, I'm gonna start a side project, just go fully melodic. He's like, oh, me too. I was like, oh, sick. He's like, you want to do it together? I'm like, sure. And so we just we made like 40 songs.
Wow.
Dude, we have so much music. And then
you've only released like 1 or 2, right?
No, we have an album. So we released 12 songs, but they were just sitting on so much gold, I feel like. But it was during COVID when everyone had more free time. It's like he wasn't touring. He was always home. So it's like it was really easy to bang all this stuff out. It's awesome. It's Riotten. He tours like crazy. So it's just like, it's not his main project. But we're going to pick it back up soon. But yeah, we just literally said you want to do it together, and we just started making music together because I wasn't making melodic yet, and neither was he. And so we kind of just did it together for fun, and it did pretty well off the first album. But we're trying to get it back together now. We're looking for labels and stuff like that, but I think we'll be back soon. We have so much music. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much music.
How do you balance, working on a side project, especially with, someone of Riotten's size, and then also like keeping your Stoutty project alive? What's like the difference there? What's, when you're producing, when are you like in the zone to produce Pushing Daisies versus Stoutty music? Like what does your workflow look like between the two projects?
If I'm starting like a new song and it kind of sounds more Pushing Daisies like, I'll send it to Chris and see if he wants it. I'm like, yo, do you think this would be a good idea for the project? And if he says yes, then I'll send him the stems, or we'll just go back and forth on feedback. But I send him pretty much, I think, everything I make and see what he's like. Could that be PD style? Because there's a point where we go all house for Pushing Daisies, so I'll just do melodic. But now we're going to do, I think, both. Yeah, whatever we think feels right for the project, or think we'll do better on that project, we'll just do that. And vice versa, he'll send me stuff back and forth, and like, you think this should be on PD? I'm like, yeah. So it's really just like, if I make something, I'll send it to him and see what we want to do with it.
Stylistically, how do they differ?
As of now, I don't know.
Okay.
Because it's like more like the album we put out was like more like kind of like our best song is I Would Never, and I don't know how to explain that song at all. It's like weird trap melodic in a way. So we have a whole bunch
almost
of songs
like
that
type music. Yeah.
We have like that, a whole bunch of songs like that style. But now we just have like big chord progression styles. So it's like Stoutty's more now to be more Christian stuff. So that's how it will deviate. But we have a lot of music for that project. It's just sitting there. So.
Why did you decide to go? Because Stout is your last name, right?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to go with your last name for your?
No, people call me that in high school. Which is high school. They call me Stoutty. I just kept it that way. It's literally it, dude.
What have you built like branding around it, or like how does
No, there's no branding at all. It's just literally just me. So yeah, that's my issue. It's like branding. People ask like, yo, what is a Stoutty? I have no idea what it is. It's just like
it's a me. It's a me.
If people get to know me, it's just, I guess they'll know, because like I'm just like goofball. Like, I was so against like showing my side on social media. Like, I don't want to put my whole life out there, but you kind of have to nowadays. So it's like, I'm just like a goofball and mess around all the time. I like making music. So yeah, a Stoutty, I have no idea what it is. It's just my last name. I guess it's a good beer. So
yeah. I was gonna ask you too. I'm very interested in beers, and I saw that you were a beer guy yourself. What kind of beers are you mainly into?
I like stouts, dude. Stouts, like
that works perfectly.
It's like this campfire stout I had not too long ago.
Freaking High Water Brewing Company.
I don't know, dude. It's like a big like bear on there, and no, it was a s'more stout or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've had that one. It's High Water,
dude. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, so the toasted marshmallow flavor notes in there.
Yes, dude. Yes. Yeah, I can go for a stout right now.
Bruh, it's not even noon. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, dude.
True. That is true. That's fair.
Oh, that's so funny.
I guess then, Brand, have you thought about like, because Stout and your last name, the fact that you love beer and stuff, have you thought about leaning into that a little bit, or?
No. You know, it'd be funny, I guess, but it's just not really. I love beer, but it's not really fully who I am. So it's just like what's DJ Snake's branding? It's not a snake.
Yeah, true.
So it's like I just gotta really. People just gotta get to know me, I guess, and like me more to really like my music. Because at the end of the day, it's like, as sad as it is, it's really about the branding and the analytics and the numbers. It's all about that. But if people can really relate to somebody, like, I realize I like artists that I can relate to, and like, oh, I think it'd be cool to hang out with that dude. So it's like, if people can feel the same way like that with me, I think it could work. Like, making content, just posting like every single week, and
I signed up to be a music producer, not a content creator.
Yeah, dude, seriously. It's like like, look, what happened with Acre is like, you have a number one song. I talked to a guy that was like an agent. He's like, if you have a number one song, yeah, you can blow up, do it that way. You don't have to do social media as much. But until you get that song, you have to have numbers, you have to post and stuff like that. So it's like, it's kind of like, that's why I make so many remixes. It's like, it's just easy to me to bang out. It's easy content for me to post. And if one hits, you know? It's like, look what Mashbit's doing. Mashbit's killing it with his mash.
Yeah.
Dude, killing it with his Mashbits. And it's like, I've tried to do that, but he's just too good at what he does. It's like, he's so good at what he does. So it's like, I've talked to him about it too. It's like, you have to just post, you have to be consistent, and like, you have to use
and test things too. Try
you
new
have
things.
to use the apps so they like you more. You have to be on the apps more, so they put you on the algorithm. It's a lot of work. It really is, dude. But it's part of like the process now. Like, people can't hate on it, because like, if you want to be a producer, you have to be a content creator at the same time now. It sucks, but it's just, that's the job now. You have to.
I feel like that's even outside of music, like in any industry really now. Like,
dude, yeah,
real
you
estate,
have to
freaking
post.
Grocery store, like every industry.
You have to use social media, because that's where everyone's tapping into. It's like, everyone's on this phone every single day.
Literally, as soon as people wake up, they grab it.
Yeah, it's like, that's how I talk to you. That's how I talk to everybody. It's like, everyone's on our phone and social media comes in play. It's like, it's part of the game. And it's cool though, because like, realistically, it's probably way easier to blow up now than it was in 1960.
For sure.
You know, it's like,
the only difference is there's more competition now, because everyone has a way easier access. So, dude,
it's oversaturated for sure. But yeah, that's why you gotta stand out with. That's why I think it always comes back to the music. You gotta stand out with your music. So, yeah, but it's I guess it's fun. Like, you have to post a lot for the podcast, I'm assuming.
Dude, literally like almost every day.
Yeah, so I post like good clips, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
With you being a Christian, you said that you got some negative comments and stuff, but have you seen a positive trend? Like, overall, have you seen a positive trend from it?
Way more positive than negative. Like, people reached out to me I haven't talked to in forever, which was super cool.
Dope. Yeah.
Of course, I got some of the trolls would come after me and like comment some dumb stuff, but hey, it's all good. It's like, at the end of the day, they're just boosting the algorithm for me. So,
and you're not doing it. Well, you are, at the end of the day, you are kind of doing it for your audience, but at the same time, you're also doing it to like serve God too. So it's like,
exactly,
no matter if people talk shit or not, it's like, I'm cool with God, so that's all I care about.
Yeah, it's like, I never really came out like, okay, it's like, yeah, I didn't think anyone would really, you know, take it for good or whatever. I don't know how they're gonna take it. I just came out and posted, like, let's just post on my faith and see what I do, because I do really honor people that post about God every single day. It's like, that is super rad.
I don't know if you follow fitness or anything, or if you're into fitness at all, but
I love fitness. Yeah.
Do you know Alex Eubank on YouTube?
No.
You should look him up. He's a Christian, like, young bodybuilder, but that's literally how he blew up, is because he started making, you know, he's not only in the fitness space, which is a huge industry on especially YouTube. That's
a hard industry to get into.
But he also like came at it from like a Christian angle and talks about it in his videos all the time. And like, he has like 2 million followers of like Christian based audience. It's insane.
That's the one thing the Christian community supports, dude.
Yeah.
Heavily, dude. That's super rad. But that's super awesome. Yeah.
I'll send you some stuff afterward.
Please do.
He's someone that I definitely look at. Or like, even, I don't know if you watch like Logan Paul or Jake Paul.
I like George.
George is another person.
George is super
Alex
awesome.
actually was on George, because George started his new podcast.
Yeah.
Alex they had a great episode. I'll send that to you.
Yeah, dude, I love George. He raps, dude.
Yeah, dude, he's very impressive. Good. Yeah. His last song was really good.
Yeah, dude, I was like, that doesn't even sound like him.
Yeah.
That's super awesome. Dude, shout out George. That guy's awesome. He's doing good things.
Those are the type of people that I definitely look at, though, because they do have the bigger audiences and they do have like
influence, they probably get so much hate, dude.
Dude, oh my gosh, yeah. But they no matter what, they're still showing up, and this is who I am. This is what I stand for, and they're not letting it phase them, and they're just
and they talk like they don't act like the perfect Christian. They talk about their downfalls. They talk about how they sin. They talk about I know, and he's not. I don't think he's married to his girlfriend yet either, and he talks about that. Yeah, and he talks about all that. So it's like, dude, no one's perfect in this world. So
yeah, I think that's the hardest part for me is once you put that out in the world, especially if you're you have your own platform or you're a musician or whatever it may be. I think it's the hardest thing is people have this idea of what a perfect Christian needs to be, and just because you're out there about your faith or whatever, it's like it's hard for some people to accept the fact that like you're not perfect. Even though you're a Christian, you're still not perfect. And you're going to make your own mistakes and you're still going to sin. Mm-hmm. You're still going to, so.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not perfect at all. It's, I think that's a thing too. It's like, I feel like Christians that are non-believers now were hurt by other Christians for like doing the wrong thing. I couldn't imagine me going to Christian school my whole life and still be following God. Cause I know a lot of people that went to Catholic school, Christian school, and they're just like so drained from it now. They really don't believe as much or don't believe at all. High school. Yeah, so it's like I kind of feel honored and blessed. Like, and my parents weren't super Christian when I was growing up, so it's like as they retired, they got more into faith and more into God. So it's like, I don't know, I couldn't imagine being young and just being drilled 24/7 about that because you're a kid, you don't really know anything, you really don't care. It's like you don't care about beliefs, you just want to have fun and be a kid. So I couldn't imagine that. So I feel like that gets a bad rap from other Christians, hurting other Christians, and they just don't believe.
It's definitely like, because I come from like the opposite end of that spectrum, and I feel like at a young age, it was definitely shoved in my face, and like I got to a certain point when like I started making my own decisions, like 18, 16 to like 20. I kind of stepped away from it like heavily. I was just like, I don't care. Like never prayed, never did anything. And then as I got older and I started seeing the value and having the relationship with Christ and stuff, then it was people who are forced into that. I talked to other people that are like they're raised Christian, but then they like everyone. It seems like goes through like even my dad kind of went through a phase of this where like you kind of step away and you have to make that decision for yourself to want to follow Jesus instead of like your parents doing it for you.
100%, dude. 100%. Yeah, I don't remember really praying when I was like 18 or anything. I don't remember doing that at all. I just remember I wanted to party and like have fun and do what I want and just live for this world. And I feel like as you get older, you realize like, oh yeah, it's kind of true. It's like if you look at the Bible and see everything happening in today's world, that does match up, and I'm not going to force anybody to believe it, but if you want to talk about it, I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking about it today with me on the podcast.
Oh, dude, I appreciate you giving a platform to talk about it. It's pretty rad.
Talking about, being disciplined versus, we're not perfect and all that kind of stuff. What is your discipline and how do you keep disciplined with not only your religion and your walk with Christ, but also just like social media, getting your work done? Like discipline's such a big thing for me. So I'm just curious how that works in your world.
I just still want it really bad, I guess. It's like hard work, if you work hard, you get what you want in life. Yeah, it's just like having like role models like Riotten and see how they're doing it. All my other buddies, just like seeing that, like, I don't know, it's like seeing my parents work their whole life and work hard, just kind of having those role models too. It's like you kind of just like, not saying it's built in me, but just like seeing that, it's like I want to work hard. Like I don't like being lazy, and trust me, I've been lazy this past couple of days, but it's just like, dude, working on music all the time is just like, it really is mentally draining. And I know all the other producers, I'm sure like you talking to people all day is mentally draining. It's like sometimes I just want to take a break from it. And producers need that. They need to take a break and not do it 24/7. It's like once you take a break and come back for a few days or like come back a day later, it's like you're so refreshed. But yeah, back to the discipline. It's like, I don't know, just want it really bad. I know if I'm not working on it. I think it was F Tampa at a studio session with when I was going back to school. They would have like artists come in. And so I think it was F Tampa. And he said, I used to go out and party every night, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. But he knew someone was working just as hard as him on the same dream, when he was out partying, he could be home working on that same dream to beat that person. So that kind of like was always stuck in my brain. It's like I could go party every single day, but there's a million kids doing the same exact thing I want to do in this world.
Who want it
way
more than you. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why it's like, it kind of like, I have to work. And like, even when you make it, you still have to work. Like you see Riotten making content all the time. It's like, you can never stop working. No one's ever satisfied, I feel like. And I feel like once you're satisfied, it's like, it's just like whatever.
The journey's over. Yeah. It's like, what's the point at that point?
Once you get bigger, you work way harder and work way more. It's like, look at the Chainsmokers, look at Snake. They're traveling constantly making content.
It's funny that you brought up the Chainsmokers because they were actually interviewed on Impulsive like a year or two ago, and they were talking about how like as you get bigger into this industry, you're not like yeah, you're gonna work your ass off in the beginning, but you're just gonna have the same amount of work plus bigger problems as you grow. So it's like the problems never end, the stress never ends. Like it just gets more intense as you get more experience and further into your career.
Dude, yeah, it's like you just have more responsibility at that point. It's like you have way more shows, you have to make everything, your music has to be top notch, you have more eyes on you, you're gonna be judged more. So it's like I'm sure it's way harder. So but yeah, it's just to be disciplined. It's like I like having a schedule, you know?
So me too. Like, I run my whole life on a calendar.
Yeah, I like to have notes. Like I have like a whole bunch of notes right here next to my desk. It's like I like to be on a schedule, work out, get stuff done, then come back, work on music. It's just, I like to feel productive.
Definitely.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. So
it's hard for me going back to taking the time off because, like you said, we all need it. It's almost because when you're as disciplined and dedicated as you know, someone like you are, it gets to a point to where like the days that I have to like force myself to take days off, and on those days, I feel like I'm just like a lazy piece of shit. I'm just like, what? I could be doing it, but like, at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I know I need this rest because I'm gonna be way more effective the rest of the week. But like, just this one day that I have to take off, I hate this.
Dude, it's like you just have to like let yourself go sometimes. Like it's okay. It's like I could get stuff done, but it's just for your mental, dude. Especially mental health nowadays. It's like it's so more important than anything else. It's like it's way more important. So. We need it. Go for a walk, go work out, go do something. Like I saw Kenny Beats talk on an interview. Dude, such a legend. He talks like, yeah, dude, like I'll go walk around for like an hour, just like the studio. It's like you don't have to constantly drill yourself to to get all this stuff done. You need to take breaks and like look at that guy now. That guy's a legend in the hip hop space. He was a legend in the EDM space. But it's like listening to those guys taking space, taking mental breaks, like walking around, get fresh air. Because I'm sure there's producers that stay in the room 24/7 and don't see the day of light. And that's not good for you.
Over time, I feel like you're going to be way less effective too. Like,
yeah, it's like you need breaks. You need them. And you don't want to take them, but it's just good. It's like vacation, taking time off. It's like, especially like this industry that we're in, it's like, there's really no time off, you know, because you always want to work, but
especially when you're passionate about it. Yeah, and you're like, exactly. You have goals, and you're like, I'm not there yet. Let's just keep going until we're there. And it's like,
yeah, exactly.
You gotta enjoy the process, too.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta enjoy everything. Yeah.
How long have you been chasing this music, like making it big? How long have you been in the game?
Probably like 7 years, I think. When I graduated from Matrix sessions. Yeah, about 7. Because I remember when I was 21, I wasn't really making music yet. So yeah, maybe like 22, 23, so about 7 years, I think I've been really diving. But I think the past like year and a half, I've really been diving on the melodic stuff. Yeah, that's like my goal. So
during that, and you know, this is another area that I'm challenged, especially in my faith and stuff is, and kind of bouncing off the topic of like when negative things happen, people like that tend to turn away from their faith and like tend to lose faith in God when like, oh, my dad died. Why would this happen to me? Like just using that example, but something negative happens or life changing happens, and you're like blaming God and you're mad at God and you're like, is there even a God? And kind of off that same idea, how long you have to stay dedicated, how long you have to stay disciplined, how long this journey takes. It's brought up questions for me in the past where it's like, I feel like, and especially because like I feel like this is my calling and stuff, and this is what God put me on this earth to do.
Yeah, it's
like,
hard to find.
How come it's not happening? Like it takes so long. Like if God wants me to do this, why is it going to take so long? Like why can't He just give this to me?
Yeah, so I struggle with that. I did it for a while. I was like, dude, why isn't it happening? But I'm very blessed and thankful because if I got everything I wanted when I was 21 years old, like if I got all like the touring and I got all that, I'd be in a ditch somewhere probably because like. I wouldn't have cared for my faith. I would just party, drink all day, do what I want, spend the money. It's like, I'm honored and blessed that I didn't get that when I was 21, because like you learn to mature and get older. It's like, look what happened to Bieber. Like, he kind of had a downfall too, and a downside.
Now he's a huge Christian, married, and
I know, it's super rad. That's super rad of him. So, yeah, I always ask God like why, but I learned at a point now. It's like, it's his timing, not mine, and you kind of just have to accept that. Whatever happens, I don't blame him. Yeah, it's like you're being. It's like on my phone. It's like there's always a test before promotion, so it's like you just have to keep diving into your faith, and just don't question it. It's like whatever, because everyone questions God, like, oh, why this happened to me? And it's like, dude, the devil's working 10 times harder just to try to get you off the road that God wants you on. Or so it's like people don't realize that, like George said, like the God's knock on your door, but the devil's going through the back window. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you just gotta stay on track, I guess. It's not easy, but yeah, I do for the longest time. I was like, dude, why isn't this happening? Like, God, like, I'm like, why aren't I bigger yet? Maybe my music sucked. I don't know, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's definitely that, and kind of diving more into my faith. It's like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. I'm not tripping on it. I'm just here to impact people's lives. And
yeah.
Like,
and I think that's
1 or a million. I'm happy.
Yeah, and I think that's what God really is. The true calling from God is like, even, you know, no matter how many X amount of people it is, your job is to be here and to serve. So even if it's 10 people, show up and serve them.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. So yeah, definitely get tested all the time. And I had my buddy called me not so long ago. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was going through stuff and like really questioning God. And we sat there and prayed together. And I was like, dude, maybe it's just a test. You're going through hard times right now. Just get through it. And love the kid. He's a really good dude, good producer. Yeah, just like stuff like that. Like if I could like help him, like kind of get back in his faith and go back to church, it's like, why can't I help everybody else? Because I have people that help me do the same thing. So why can't I be a role model for everybody else too? You know, it's like, yeah, it's just like having your own little ministry. And it's super awesome.
Talking about Christianity and stuff, what's your dating life like? What does that kind of look like for?
Oh, dude, it's not easy in LA.
Bro, it's so challenging, especially in today's day and age. Like, it's so hard to balance, like, staying on your best behavior, but, like, also, like,
dude, yeah,
putting yourself out there at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I'm definitely, like, on, like, I think I'm on Hinge. Yeah, it's not easy, dude.
No. And to like find girls that, like...
Dude, it's to find a Christian...
Also appreciate, like, the direction of your career, but also like it's so hard to find like people who like understand and respect like the EDM industry as a career, but also are like walk a Christian life too, which I want both in my partner. So it's hard to find. Yeah, that's
the hard part, because you're like, realistically, if I'm dating a girl like you like Jesus, you love Jesus, no, like I shouldn't date you. So I dated a girl for 7 years, and it was a good relationship, but we kind of had a falling out. So, but we're still good friends. But like dating now, it's like, dude, I've been out of the game for like 2 years. Like I really didn't date that long.
Yeah.
So it's like getting back in the game. It's like I want to date like a week ago. It's like, it's like I don't know how to date anymore, dude. Especially today's age. It's like I don't know how to. It's just weird to date. It's like you don't know if they're feeling it. It's like, okay, my beliefs. You like God? Do you love God? Okay, do you want to go to church? It's like it's so.
But do you also want to go to this festival?
Yeah, literally, dude. Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, it's so hard to date nowadays, and it's like,
especially with hookup culture too. Like I don't participate in that at all. Like, yeah,
dude, it's so toxic and it sucks. And yeah, it's like I'm not, it's like sometimes I just want to go out and drink and hook up and do stupid things, and that's the temptation I get a lot. But it's like I know I can't do that. Like my buddy told me, it's like you gotta change your environment so you do better. It's like, dude, it's totally based off your environment, about your beliefs. If you're hanging out with like a whole bunch of people that don't really believe and want to go party, it's like I'm gonna be tempted to go party too. So it's like just like learning that. But yeah, dating's super hard, especially, dude, just in California, dude. It's just like there's not that many Christians out here, I feel like.
Are you from Cali originally?
Yeah, so I was born and raised actually in this house I live in now. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so both my parents left LA, so yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, it's been awesome having you here. We are getting kind of closer to time, but I wanted to wrap up with just kind of some future things that are coming up for you, what you're looking forward to in the near future, some of your goals. What do you got planned?
The Christian song's coming out with Kelsey Ray.
And you just dropped something too on...
Oh yeah, I dropped the Oceans remix on SoundCloud. Yeah, Hillsong United, beautiful song. I mean, I dropped that on SoundCloud. It's on YouTube too, on God's Nation. These guys out of Germany have a YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. They have a decent platform. But yeah, it's so just putting more Christian content out. I have a song with this kid named Billy Wales. Super talented kid. Found him on TikTok. This guy could sing like a freaking angel, dude. It's more like pop style though. And then obviously the song with Kelsey Ray, it's a Christian song that we're trying to finish up and probably start doing promo the next couple weeks. So just more Christian content and more putting more stuff out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Absolutely, man. Where can the listeners find you and keep up to date with what you got coming up?
You can find me at Stoutty, Stoutty on like Apple Music, Spotify, and then just put Stoutty Music on all the social medias.
Final question. I ask this to every guest at the end of every single interview. If you could give yourself, your younger self, one piece of advice when you went back when you like first started producing music and you wanted to be a DJ and stuff, what would that be?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. Dive in your faith more. Yeah, it's just like looking back now, I wish I just knew it more then, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that was something that there's kind of two paths where like you could be Christian, start your career, never mention it, and then like bring it up like once you kind of gain some notoriety and stuff. Or you start at the beginning of your career like I did, and then you kind of have to like build your image based off of that. And it sounds like you kind of didn't kind of put that out there until later in your career.
Yeah, I put that to like 3 months ago, dude, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
If that. And it's like I've been doing this for like 7 years, you know? So like all my friends knew I was a Christian, but like no one
right.
that followed me knew. Yeah. Exactly. So
and I'm glad you did because we had a great conversation.
Yeah, I got to meet you. I got to meet some really cool people posting about that. So yeah, we get to have a conversation today, and that's super cool. I feel like there needs to be more of this in the scene.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for your time today, man. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Appreciate you, brother. Of course, man.